welcome to My Car Life Stories.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for, agreeing to be part of our journey here. And the whole thing we do here is basically we speak to people who are ordinary in terms of you're just an ordinary guy, but you've chosen to do something extraordinary for your life.
Wow.
Right? So you are a jeweller by trade, right?
That's right.
And how did you decide to make this your living?
I haven't always been a jeweller. So I started off doing music. Mm-hmm. I used to manage my cousin, Sway. I don't know if you heard of him. Sway.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. So I used to manage him, and then we did the music thing. We had an independent label. So through that, I got to know a lot of UK sort of celebrities. Everybody was on the come up at the same time. Yeah. So I knew the Wretches. We were in the same studio with just different artists, and my best pal also plays football, so he was playing for Arsenal at the time and all of that. So I was mingling with a lot of footballers, and so after the whole music era kind of wiped out, I thought to myself, hey, what is my passion? And it's always been jewellery. I've always been that guy that changes his jewellery every 6 months, every 3 months. When I was like 16, I remember my boy took me to get my first chain, and I just never stopped from there.
Okay.
And I just thought, okay, music's done now. What else? What? I need to create something that I can sell to the people around me. So I said, hey, I want to start selling jewellery. So initially, I didn't start off with like making jewellery itself. I started off with selling watches. So all I would do was I would go to like Hatton Garden, or at the time Green Lanes. There was a shop there. My friend owned a shop there. Well, we're friends now. But yeah, he owned a shop there, Dennis & Co. And I would go there. So I would go there with a notepad and source all the prices and ask him about the popular watches and what watches are in. Write down the names and write down the prices, and then I would literally go back to my estate and say, look, I've got this watch for so put £200 on there, put £50 on there. Until then I started, and then everybody would be like, yeah, I want this watch, can you source this for me? And then that's how it, that's like the...
So did you go from that to, I guess, retraining yourself to have the skills to be hands-on and make the jewelry that you're doing today?
All right, well, from a kid I've been very I've always been into fashion. Anything I choose to do, I really take a lot of interest to do a lot of research. I love fashion, and I don't just love fashion because that's a good jacket, I like this. I'll check out the seams and the cuts, and I'm into that. So to be honest with you, it's that same mentality that I applied to the jewelry. I thought, I want to start making jewelry myself. So I just did the research, and I just came on this street that we're on actually, which is Bond Street.
Yeah, Bond Street.
And
by Burberry.
By Burberry, yeah. and I would look at like Graft, that's like Van Cleef and Arpels. Like they are like people that I look up to. And I would just look, just stand in the window and just look at the pieces that they make. And I just look how the setting is. And I didn't know what I was looking out for. But slowly I was conditioning my mind to know what looked right, what I wanted my stuff to look like.
Okay.
So I have a friend, Dynamics, he had a mate called Nathan. And he said to me, look, I think you and Nathan should partner up because he's into jewelry. And so are you. So he hooked us up, and we kicked it off. And then we started a brand called Cans Noire, and which simply meant, which was simply our initials put together, and we put the noir at the end of it to give a little ring, as in a black power statement, do you know what I mean? So we started doing that, and even when we started that, we decided that our first product that we were going to release will be a high-end trinket for a Birkin bag or a Chanel boy bag. But he mentally, we were on the same page. Yeah. So we both took a trip to what's it called, Tower Bridge, and we went to look at the crown jewels and how that was set and how the stories behind it. We looked at the setting, and then we designed our own crown, which came out. Then we made the product and we put it out.